Hey you, another adventures in beekeeping, and this one gave me pause to say, well, a lot of what we see in the beekeeping videos is good things, how to, and a lot of us may come across as, you know, everything's perfect in our apiaries. And well, that's just not true. We have just as many pests as you do. It's sometimes multiplied because we have 10 times more hives than you, or 5 times, or whatever. We have problems with dearth, we have problems with pests, we have problems with equipment. Everything that you find as a problem, we find as a problem. We just have a chance at telling you how we've dealt with it. So today I came across a dead out, and not just a regular dead out. It's a stinky freaking mess. This is wax moth. And what you see are wax moth eggs in there. And it's the minor wax moth, from what I could tell. I didn't see the major wax moth. And she's been a dead out for a while. But what happened probably was this. The queen of the hive, from my notes, was a 22 queen. And she did just fine this spring. We had a bang up spring. We used her for different things. She had a top that had semi-top bars. And once the wax moth, you just saw a wax moth running. Once the wax moth starts, usually in a part of the hive that the bees can't occupy. They can't keep it, they can't patrol. So the wax moth gains a foothold there. See, this is nothing more than mostly, webbing. It's disgusting. They have eaten the wax. That's why they're called wax moth. Funny how that is. So they gain a foothold in one part of the hive, and then they start to move on. If the hive does not recover a population, then they take over as the population begins to dwindle. This one dwindled because she was old. I didn't get to her. And finally succumbed to the wax moth. The wax moth did not kill this hive. One of the comments or what have you on these forums, Facebook, what have you, is, oh my God, I hate wax moth, they killed my hive. No, they didn't. The wax moth came in and cleaned up your mess. They cleaned up my mess. Do I wish I had saved some of that comb? Yeah. But then again, I have to rotate comb out. So they kind of did that for me. The wax moth came in after your hive began to dwindle. It looks to me like she may have been robbed a little bit as she dwindled. There was nobody on the landing, on the bottom board. No dead bees on the bottom board, but plenty of webbing, plenty of more little wax eggs. The ants, if I leave it out like this, the ants will come and eat whatever living larva is left. The birds will peck through. And since there's no wax really in there, it's all webbing, then I'll come through and clean it up after the birds and the insects get a chance at cleaning what they can. One giant reason to not put this in my car. I do not have a truck bed. I do not have a truck. And I don't carry a wagon with me or a trailer. So if I was to put this in my trunk without a bag over it, the wax moth can get into your car, and especially if there's wax worms. The worms will crawl out and then begin to eat your upholstery and anything else that they can eat. That's why wax moths are being used and looked at as a garbage disposal system for helping the planet. They will eat everything. So don't put an uncovered box that has wax worms in it in your car. Just don't do it. I warn you. So yeah, there's nothing to save here, and there's nothing to really be angry about. It's part of the natural system of things that this happens. The queen dwindled, they didn't supersede her, and this is what happens. It looks like this one may have a little bit of comb in there to save, so I'm leaving them up in the sun and trying to let the bugs get through them. Then I'll come through, kind of clean them up a little bit more before I take them home and rewire and what have you. This, yes, it's a dead out. Yes, it's a loss of some type. If you get to it to requeen, you may recover a population. However, really, don't beat yourself up when you find a dead out. So this is all part of beekeeping. The good, the bad, the ugly, the stinky, the slimy. Get over it and move on, learn from it. And if you have hives in areas that you can't get to, you know, you might want to rethink it. I have a lot of hives in a place where I can get to them, and I still miss this one. It happens. It's no biggie. It's something to learn from. So until next time, peace, bruh.